Good morning. My name is Damien. I'm submitting my video for the first Phorm 2020 athlete search. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I do what I do. Um, I started working out at 14. I was bullied a lot as a kid. I wasn't looking to beat people up or anything like that. I'm not a violent person, but I just more or less wanted people to leave me alone. I was a super scrawny kid. In my preteen years. I was really fat before that. And then as I got older, my body's gone up and down and up and down. Not to mention the fact that I've had some medical issues, which I'll get into in a minute. But so I started my journey at 14. I'm old enough to be older than the internet. So magazines were my thing. Flex, Muscle and Fitness, Men's Health, Men's Fitness, all of those things. I read everything that I could get my hands on to learn how to work out better. And that's kind of where I fell in love with fitness. And fast forward to early 2000s. I can't remember exactly when. I want to say it was like 2003 or 4. No, 2000. It was 2005 or 6. Um, One day while working out, I went to perform a deadlift and took my eyes off the prize. I was distracted, locked my knees out, and I didn't realize it. And I lifted 395 with basically just my back. I heard 4 pops, dropped to my knees, like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. Continued to work out like an idiot for about 20 more minutes. Keep trying to push through. Obviously, I didn't do any more deadlifts when that happened, but, I had to finish my workout. Just kept getting worse and worse, and long story short, over the course of a couple of months, it took a while for anyone to figure out what actually had happened. So I crushed a disc between my L4 and L5. Eventually, the part of the disc that didn't get crushed fell out, shut off the nerve signals to both my legs, so I lost use and feeling of both my legs from the knees down. That unfortunately happened as I was walking out the steps of my house, my old house, to go to work. And I face planted off the top step, thinking that I had tripped on something, and when I went to stand up, my legs didn't work. Fast forward again, met with a doctor, a couple of doctors. They told me that I would have immediate surgery. I was thinking a couple of weeks was immediate. It ended up being a couple of days. They told me, the way that the disc fell out, typically it falls out to one side or the other. Mine fell out flat, which means they weren't really sure how to get around the spine. There was possibility that I was going to be paralyzed, so 45-minute procedure, which is called a lower lumbar discectomy, happened. But mine took 4.5 hours because I had done so much damage. They expected a minimum of a year of recovery, and they told me I would probably never walk right again. I ended up doing only 9 weeks. I told myself when I was able to start recovery, I told myself I could listen to what they say, or I could do everything I can to fight back, and that's what I did. I wanted my life back to be normal, not to be confined to a wheelchair or any kind of medical apparatus. I wasn't ready for that. Fast forward again, 2009, I started getting a kind of a lump in my armpit. Turned into a pimple, kept getting bigger and bigger. Turned into an infection, kept getting worse and worse. In mid 2010, I was hospitalized. Now, as you see me now, I'm about 220 pounds. When I was admitted into the hospital in 2010, I was 158 pounds. Given a week to live. I wasn't supposed to hear that, but I cried, of course. and fought with my demons. And then, my mom, she lost my sister shortly after her 18th birthday in '96. And she lost my stepdad at the age of 58 in 2005 ish, brain cancer. So I knew that if she were to lose me, I didn't, my mom is a very strong person. And, but I knew losing another child, I don't know that she could take that. So I told myself, no matter what, we make it through this. So for the next 2 years, I had 11 surgeries and, 60 or 70 minor procedures, all requiring anesthesia. I had massive wounds, so the only way to get those wounds to repair is with a wound vac, and I kept getting units that failed. Plus, I lived 3 hours away from the hospital because they were the only ones that could treat me. So it was a process, one that we got through. When I made it out the other side, all I could think about was getting back to working out. I remember the first day in my room at the time. I went to do a push up. I basically broke the plane of a plank, and I immediately hit the ground and just started crying because I couldn't believe that I couldn't do a single push up. So I sat there and cried for a little bit, and then I was like, you know what? No. Started working every day, push ups every day, squats every day. I would go for walks, and I brought myself back. And then during that time, while I was down, I had a lot of woe is me moments. I spent months in bed at times, things of that nature. So then I decided that, I was going to start, if I made it through this, that I was going to start helping others do the same. Um, so I started studying for my first certification. It was AFA, American Fitness and Aerobics Association. I was cleared to start working out in 2013. I got my first job in 2014. I started training my first client in early February. She was 74 years old. Scared to death I was going to kill her. When she didn't die, I was like, I think I can do this. Um, and so I kind of never really looked back. I only worked that job for a couple of short years before I was unjustly released. I stepped away from fitness for a while, at least in the respect of helping other people. And then shortly after, I had to stop helping myself. I took 3 jobs to be able to keep my head afloat. So I was working 7 days a week. And then, I met my current wife, um, and she helped me really see that there was a better future for me, and my future was helping other people. She knows how passionate I am about it. So I got recertified with NASM, and then I got um, my fitness nutrition specialist, and then I got a women's specialist, and then I got a senior specialist, and then I got a weight loss specialist, and then I recently certified for the nutrition coach, all of these through NASM. I got hired at Gold's now a year and 7 months ago. And I get, I love being able to touch people's lives in the wake of change, and explaining my story and telling them that there is a way out on the other side. At one point in my life, I was 260 pounds. I was a 50-inch waist. Um, it's it is humbling when you go up a single flight of steps and you're out of breath for 5 minutes, or you know trying to be a normal person and not show that you're not hurting inside when you feel those ways. I know what that feels like, and I know what people go through, and I just want to help people change. I'm here I feel like I understand them on all levels, you know, having the medical recovery, having the weight loss recovery, things of that nature. I constantly have, you know, little issues that pop up here and there. I have autoimmune disease, so um, I have a lowered immune system. Part of my surgeries in the 2010 to 2013, I lost part of my intestines during that time, so I don't process food very well. As a result of that, this coming September will be 3 years that I've been vegan. Um, it was the only way I could find that would help me take care of my body and not feel like crap all the time. So, you know, I feel like I have a lot of knowledge to offer and a lot of not just in the sense of I got all those certifications, because I know for most people, you know, a lot of people will be like, well, you're just a certification collector, but it's not about that. For me, it's about educating myself. You know, I read everything that I can in terms of what's coming new. So, for example, I'm not a fan of dieting in general, but especially the keto diet. But, you know, it doesn't mean I don't educate myself. I'm not going to tell people it's not something that they should do. If that's a choice they want to make, sure, I'm 100% going to support you. Um, but you know, I do this because I like to, you know, when someone tells me, oh my gosh, I put on a pair of pants I haven't worn in 10 years, or oh my gosh, one of my clients, she said I remember she does a United Way walk every year, and you know she never had jogged in her life, and you know 1 year after we started together, she had jogged the entire thing the first time in her life. So to have those stories shared with me, and the relationships that you build by, you know, being one on one and helping people, and you know helping change their lives, that's the reason why I signed up for this, because I think like a platform like First Form, you know, would allow me to do that on a larger scale. And I know this is my purpose, regardless of how this turns out or not. I'm still going to pursue that purpose. Um, but it would be nice to, you know, do it on a much larger scale. So I know I'm a little bit long winded, but I hope you enjoyed everything. And thank you for watching my video.